This is a map that's obviously made for somebody in Jason's height, but doesn't matter. This is Vertigo. We're gonna dive into some map tips, but I'm gonna give you a quick one real quick here. Going up A ramp as a T side, you wanna smoke off 3 spots. You wanna smoke off door, concrete, and blue boxes. That way you can get in and plant the bomb on A site without getting shot. Did you get that? All right, cool. Now wheel me out. Let's watch Friberg.
Dust 2. The positives about Dust 2, it's pretty easy to play. You can do a lot of things on it. Negative is if you're playing B, you might get tagged every time jumping over the double doors. If you want to get better on Dust 2, I'd suggest that you learn some good flashes and smokes. I feel it's a map where if you have some pop flashes, or if you have a good pop flash out middle door, for example, or pop flash B if you just want to explode B. I think if you know those smokes, you could gain a lot on it and get some extra rounds in. For a player that's being killed every time he goes long doors, I would suggest using a flashbang so you don't get spotted every time. And remember, like, it's respawn based. If you have the best spawn, you can make it through unless the T also have it. So as for a flashbang for a teammate, communication is key. Overpass is a big map. You can do a lot of things on it, and it's pretty friendly for both taking aim duels and to execute with a tactic. The negative thing about Overpass is probably you have very long rotation, so sometimes you have to run like 30 seconds to get from A to B if you're A long and have to go to B, for example. If you're a casual CS player and you want to get better on Overpass, I would suggest that you learn some Molotovs. You can take, for example, B short control. There's a Molotov which you can throw from outside T-spawn that lands on B short.
Or sometimes you want to throw a grenade, so throw a flashbang over B, and here comes the train again. You have to okay, wait, the train is passing by. So I would say the train should be removed.
Which makes the city either have to smoke it or they cannot take B short from you, and it gives you a lot of map control, and you can figure out if the cities are fighting you, they will most likely have to smoke the Molotov before going out. It feels like Mirage is the new Dust 2. It's a very loose map. You can still do strats on it. You can still just run around and run and gun basically on the map, and it feels like everyone knows how to play the map by now. The negative thing about Dust 2 is probably that it might be too puggy at some points. If you're playing it on like matchmaking or Face It or ESEA, whatever, you can just maybe people running through and just like with a flashbang just kill you. So it's a lot about positioning and everything like that. If you want to get better on Mirage, I would suggest as well that you have some pre-fire angles. You know kind of what height the player models are. If you're coming up A slope, if you're you know where to aim basically. Know the most used spots basically, because there's so many spots. If you run up on B site and A site, there's so many spots where the players can hide. So if you have an idea on where the cities like to play by watching either a pro game or just playing the map more, you'll have a lot easier time coming up both. My favorite map is Nuke. I think it has some really good rotations on it. It's so fast. You can do so much on T side. You can fake going down. They don't know if it's all the team down or just one guy down. And I don't know, I just like the inner bomb side. It's also good. I think one of the most underrated maps in CS.
So hopefully you learned something new today from Friberg. If you did, like, subscribe, and of course comment down below if you have any pros you'd like to get some tips from in the future. Also, follow us on Twitter @World of Esports, and we'll see you on the next one.